There have been some major changes in Burkina Faso government, honestly, since the January 3rd coup. And some of the changes, they are for the benefit of Burkina Faso. And the main change that has just occurred, like 22 hours ago, is Burkina Faso government has dissolved all political parties, all of them, all of them. So it has just come as a surprise, and it was announced by the government spokesman that the government has decided to dissolve all the political parties in Burkina Faso. Now, the question is, do you know how many political parties are there in Africa? And do you know how many political parties are there in Burkina Faso? Active ones. Do you know that? Now, let's just have a look at what the government spokesman has said in regards to the political party dissolution, and then we'll be coming back to analyze what the government spokesman has said.
Is part of the state's restructuring and follows a thorough assessment of the party system, which has revealed numerous abuses in the application of the legal framework governing political parties and organizations in our country. Indeed, the multitude of political parties and organizations whose constitutional mission is to contribute to the vibrancy of political life, to the education of the people, and to the expression of the vote, all while respecting national sovereignty, have proven to be, in total, a continuous disconnect with the real aspirations of the people and the strategic challenges, especially those related to security. This failure has encouraged the division of citizens, contributed to the weakening of the social fabric, and created unbalanced territorial development. That is why, as part of the institutional, political, and administrative reforms, and in line with the vision of the head of state, it became imperative to dissolve the political parties and organizations and to repeal the existing legislative framework in order to provide better oversight of political life and pluralism, and to preserve national unity while further defending the state. In any case, the adoption of the dissolution measure and the draft repealing law will not only strengthen the coherence of government action with the ideals of the progressive popular revolution, but above all, it will pave the way for a reform of the political governance system of our country. The dissolution decree stipulates in its Article 2 that the assets of each party and political organization shall be transferred to the state. The draft law repealing Law Number 32-2001-AN of November 29, 2001.
We have more than 100 registered political parties in Burkina Faso. You can imagine that. More than 100 registered political parties. Out of the 100 registered political, of course, we have others which are inactive, but they are registered by the Burkina Faso's government. Now, from these 100 political parties, we have 15 political parties that the political parties are represented in parliament, meaning uh, members of these political parties, they are elected and are represented in parliament, 15 of them. So in Burkina Faso, President Traoré himself, Traoré does not have a political party, because you can realize that Traoré is a military junta leader, so he does not have a political party. And the main aim of dissolving these political parties is uh, they are saying that these political parties are making Burkina Faso divided. Okay, that people are affiliated to political parties, and this one is causing division within Burkina Faso, something that the government is trying to fight so hard to make sure that Burkina Faso is as one and as united as possible. So that is the main reason why Burkina Faso is dissolving these political parties. Now, at the same time, even though these political parties are being dissolved, the government is also, and it has also made a directive to these parties that immediately after dissolving them, the parties have to return all equipments or all entities that they own to the government. For example, There are political parties that own buildings. There are political parties that own resources. That these are funds. There are political parties that own vehicle. All of these resources, they have to be mobilized and to be returned to the government of Burkina Faso. Why? Because of course we have initiative in Burkina Faso. These initiatives are meant to make sure that Burkina Faso is progressing to another level. And this initiative, for them to be powered on, they need funds and resources. So I guess that some of these resources that will be returned to the government, they'll be used by Burkina Faso's government to mobilize and to develop their economies. Now, you see, that is again one problem with Africa. With Africa, we have what we call political formations, not political parties. Because what I understand by a political party is, number one, it has to have a history. It has to have a history. It has to be rooted. A good example of serious political parties in Africa is, number one, if you look at South Africa has some serious political parties such as ANC. ANC is a serious political party. If you go to Tanzania, we have CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi, is a serious political party. It has roots. It has history. If you go to Zimbabwe, we have ZANU-PF, a political party. If you go to Mozambique, we have Frelimo. If I'm not wrong, in Mozambique we have Frelimo. We have MLP, if I'm not wrong, in Namibia, and we have SWAPO. SWAPO is also a serious political party. Why? Because they have history, okay? They have roots, they have history, and a long African journey towards liberation. These are the parties that were involved in liberating Africa. Or some of these parties, they were just created immediately after African liberation. That's why I'm saying these parties have roots. With political formations, which is now a major problem with African politics, is these are groups of people who come together. They have the same interests. More so, they want to benefit themselves. They have the same interest. They are just merging along tribal lines, along same interest, and not the interest of a country. And again, you can get these formations after every election period, they dissolve. After every election period, they dissolve. And others are being created every now and then. Now, this is what we call political formations. Now, this is what President Traoré is not supporting. That's why he is now doing away with all political parties in Burkina Faso. Can you imagine that? That all political parties they are just gone like that. But you know what? It's for the benefit of Burkina Faso. It's for the benefit of Burkina Faso, because Traoré is saying that these parties are the ones that are dividing people along affiliations. So they want to be one. This is just one step towards Burkina Faso's integration and unity. And he is also involving other leaders in Burkina Faso to make sure that this thing is not bringing chaos. But of course, some of the people in Burkina Faso are supporting this. Actually, a major population in Burkina Faso is supporting this, led by the students, led by other leaders who are not politically affiliated. They want this thing to do with political parties to be disbanded and to focus on country's development. 5 years from now, Burkina Faso will be in another level. That is if Traoré is not ousted, because you see, with the Western African countries, there's a lot of coup going on here and there. So let's pray for Burkina Faso. Let's pray for President Traoré to unite Burkina Faso and take Burkina Faso to another level as far as development is concerned. So as of yesterday, there are no more political parties in Burkina Faso. As simple as that. All of them, they're dissolved. All the properties that were owned by these political parties, they are now owned by the government. Why? Because government is mobilizing these resources. Again, the resources are to be channeled to development. For example, you've heard of Festo Mabo, the initiative where all the Burkinabes, they have to contribute, not all as per se, those who love Burkina Faso and those who want to see Burkina Faso going forward. So they are just mobilizing their resources to make sure that Burkina Faso is going forward in terms of development. So that's it for today. See you next time. And if it's the first time, kindly show me some love by sharing this video and subscribing. Africa will be great. Africa must be great. See you next time.